All right, so we are here tonight with the hero winners. So I want to welcome to everyone our hero winners. While we're warming up stream, so I want you all to say a nice welcome to first of all the captain, Wild Nine.
How's
Wild
it
Nine,
going?
how are you?
Good.
Welcome to our show. Can you introduce your team?
Sure. I'll introduce the whole team, I guess. So this is actually first season for Defias to play in Hero, and so this is our first Hero team. In the 1C, we have Jay Rich, and he is here. Hey,
Hey
you can
guys.
say hi, Jay Rich. Yeah. We have in the 2C, we had Y the Hunter. He's not able to be here because he's in the EU. Not Bamity is in the 3 seed, and Pyrolama is in the 4 seed. They may join us. I know they're not here right now. And that THL Lemur is in the 5 seed, and he is in the car with us by
Hey
phone.
yo.
That is quite the hot crew for an exciting show. I'm glad to have you here for your first championship interview. So I want to ask you, how does it feel?
It's pretty cool. And I've only played 3 seasons, and then this is the first one I've won, so it's pretty cool.
Let me ask you,
Didn't
how
know that.
Well, I never
Jay Rich.
won a championship. I never won a championship with Lotus on my team, so it's a good feeling.
It's fair. So I want to start here by throwing the question, how did the last week go? We know that was the biggest moment of the action. So what happened there?
Can provide a bit of a recap because we were undefeated during the season, obviously made it to finals, so we were undefeated up to that point. Um, we hadn't played our finals opponent though, which was APM. So I think like right away, at least from my perspective, um, I felt that APM matched up really, really well against us. Like they also have two really great players in the 1 and 2 seed. I feel like their 3 and 4 seeds are also undervalued, just like ours are. So I was actually pretty like impressed, surprised, sort of like just like kind of feeling like, oh, this team, they had a couple losses I think in the season, but they're really good. And so I was pretty unsure, at least. I don't know. I didn't share this with my team, but obviously, but like I definitely had doubts to some degree. I thought it would be close, and it did turn out to be really, really close. Like the results for the last week, we ended up winning only 2 out of the 5 matches, but winning by 1 point because the 2 wins were sweeps. We even had to sub our 3 seed because Not Bambity had started an internship by then, so he wasn't going to be ready to play, and so we had to get a sub as well for the 3 seed. So it was a bit. There were a lot of potential issues, I guess, that could have happened, I suppose, but everybody, like every single point mattered. It was 13-12 at the end of the day,
Mm-hmm.
so it was literally a 1 point win, and literally every single match then and every single point like mattered at the end, right? So it was a tense week and very close games, of course. And yeah, and we were able to pull it out, which is great.
That is awesome. I want to ask individually, how did each of your matches go? Like, any highlights, any moments you all want to share?
I was the last match, and I only needed 2 wins to secure the team, and I ended up losing, but lost 3-2. So it was actually cool losing, but it still gave us enough points.
Yeah, it was super great. My match in the 5 seed, they unfortunately had to sub their 5 seed, so both teams were playing with one sub. But I made a really good read and brought a deck that I don't think that he was expecting me to bring. I brought a handlock homebrew build that ended up sweeping for me in the finals. That worked out in a super good way because I saw that his classes that he brought did not line up very well into single target big minion removal, and so handlock
Nice.
took it home for me.
Was it even or a normal deck?
It was a normal deck, normal handlock.
Nice.
I feel like a homebrew 5 seed deck sweeping, and again, every point mattered, right? So that
Yeah.
was pretty clutch.
Now,
Absolutely, I've been playing handlock since beta. I had to bring it out. Come on.
that's fair. Um, what was the biggest lesson you all learned this season?
or like, yeah, Jay Rich, you can start if you want.
No, go ahead.
Okay. Well, really, I think I've been. I mean, I've captained a legacy team for a while, um, for a few seasons now. I don't know how many, but every every team is different. Like the culture is different, the people are different, like the level of competition and things are different. And so,
Mm-hmm.
at least for me, like from the captain's perspective, like I kind of knew that this team would be competitive just naturally by the players we had, by the seeds that they were in, and so I didn't have to do too much. And I actually felt like I learned a lot from their prep processes. Like I was tried to be involved with them and like give them stats and things like that, and just be a soundboard for them. But honestly, at least from my perspective, because I have struggled with Hero in the past, or at least my PR is much lower in Hero than in Legacy, and so like I felt like I learned a lot from them just about how to approach the matches, not being overly detailed, just like wanting to be good in multiple matchups, and then also some tech things here and there, right? Like I felt like I learned a lot from my players, like just in general.
Mm-hmm. So
Yeah,
No,
go ahead.
go for it, Jay Rich.
no, he summed it up pretty good. No, go ahead, Lemur.
All right, perfect. Well, hey, I think the thing that I learned the most from the season is that Wild Nine is the best damn captain I've ever had in my entire life. His prep process of giving us all the information we could possibly need to prep into our opponents makes prep such a easy dream to go through that all we have to do is execute on the gameplay. We're pretty much good to go on the prep side of things. So great job, Wild Nine.
Very nice.
Yeah, I'm gonna add on to that too. Yeah, that is actually a strong suit because I'm very good at just handling the decks, but then having to use my brain to make the decks because I even sub for them in the week on Pro Series. But the stipulation was they came up with the decks I would play, and I would just play them. So it definitely helps with the process of picking what decks you want when they lay
Mm-hmm.
out the framework for you.
For sure. Now, one more question here coming from Judo Chop, who did just sub. And I want to give Judo Chop a very special thank you for that sub. So, Judo asks, were you guys worried about F2L Black in the regular season? How did it go?
I don't recall. Do you guys recall?
What
I'll have
week
to
was
look it
that?
up.
I'm not sure. I forget week.
Let me look it up.
I had zero idea of any team names other than ours.
Fair.
Yeah,
Honestly,
who's the player?
I can. Wait, do you know Lotus? Do you have offhand?
I don't actually.
Beats have just reset. That's why.
Yeah, so my usual thing when I'm, at least if I can say anything about worrying about teams, the thing I've learned in THL is every team can beat every team depending on the weekend if they put the work. So I've learned not to worry about particular teams. I don't know if anyone here feels differently.
No, that it's anyone in any of the seeds. They're in the seed for a reason. Like they can all compete. It just some weeks you've played the game, it just doesn't go your way, or you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's a huge thing to be said. I've captained for a long time in CHL, and from captaining to like being a player now, it's so important how you strategize in forming your team and figuring out which players go in which seeds. I know my first team that I captained, Team Avatar, we made it all the way to the finals when we were like 600 or 700 points under PR because we put players into the right positions and used our PR in the positions that they needed to be in the 3 and 4 seed when the conference we were in had a very weak 3 and 4 seed. And so just knowing your players, knowing where they can be placed in order to match up best against the other teams and what
Mm-hmm.
they might be packing is extremely pivotal.
For sure.
I think to add to that, in a sense, like I think part of the reason why I didn't have much of a radar on what was going on with the other teams this season in Hero is partly because I think that I just thought with the team we had, like I think it's just the best team I've ever been on, or like, at least in the PR series, like just because people were so understated overall, like knowing who was playing in which seeds, like everyone is anywhere for 1 to 2 seeds lower in some sense, and then our 2 and 1 seed, I don't know why the Hunter wasn't 550 already, and J Rich didn't start the season at 550 either, and so like in my mind, I kind of knew we would compete against just like anybody, you know what I mean? Like seed for seed. So I wasn't really thinking or kind of watching other teams as much. That's kind of why I was saying like when we were up against APM, once I saw the matchup, I was kind of like, wow, like actually this team matches up really well against us in particular, where I could see a struggle or I could just see it being the toughest match we've seen all year. You know, like I did really believe that going in, going up against APM in the final.
Mm-hmm.
And it certainly was the toughest match we saw all year. I mean, it was the only one we lost game score on.
Right. Yeah. They really pushed
That's
us,
true.
I would say. So, yeah. Would have been a shame just because of how good our team. Like, I think Geranium is the one who looked this up. He said that we were top 6 all time in points per week, something like that. And so it would have been a shame to just lose the final. Like when I just felt like, hey, like people have been just playing out of their minds. Like everyone played so well the whole season, and you know, if we dropped this last one, it would have felt a little bad, I think, or at least from my perspective. But like, I still knew, like, even if we lost the final, I was like, hey, this has been like an amazing team. Like, people have done so incredibly well all season. Like, everyone should be proud of the accomplishment no matter what. So it was just nice to like take it home or like wrap the whole thing with a win, you know?
For sure. For sure. So I have two more questions before we close the show. The first one I want to ask you is, what were some of the key cards that you enjoyed playing this season? Was there any card you really liked? Any card you really hated? How did the meta feel to you? I know the matters a lot to people, so I want to ask you, how did it feel?
I mean, the meta shifts, change from time to time. I enjoy most metas. There's always a deck I find. Favorite card is actually Encroaching Insanity. Warlock it's my favorite deck, was Insanity Warlock. The least favorite cards, though, I can't stand the new Ziliax model, and I can't stand Reno. The new Reno.
Fair?
Yeah, my favorite card to play this season was the Rexar Hero Portrait. It was really good and won me a lot of games. I think that overall the meta did shift quite a bit during the season. I mean, we got the mini expansion, we got a bunch of different changes, we got a couple of week delays because of those changes. But overall, I think it was fairly healthy. It didn't seem too out of balance, and it seemed like a lot of decks could be brought without too much fear for them.
Mm-hmm. Fair. And
The answer to
go
I
for
didn't play
it.
in Hero, so you know.
No, you should
I
answer.
should. I didn't think of this. No, I also liked Insanity Locked. I liked a lot of the decks that were very flexible. I don't know if I had any one card. I also agree. Like, I wasn't a huge fan of like the Reno stuff and like just the banding of it just felt pretty bad overall. Like just poofing everything. I don't know. It just felt bad. Always have to be like, hey, if I don't kill them by turn 9 or 8 before, right? Like, it didn't feel bad. So, but yeah.
And my final thing I want to ask y'all is, do you have any final words you want to say as a championship team? Anyone you want to thank? Anything you think you're missing and you would like everyone in THL to know?
Yeah, just shout out to the whole team, the players that aren't here. Wild9 again, great captain. It was awesome.
Yep, shout out the team. Great job, guys. Looks like Defias is going for a repeat next season, not with the same roster, but we hope to continue strong, I guess.
I mean, definitely thank all the players. They were great. Made my job really, really easy for across the board. Everyone was just very professional, always held their own, and always like was ready and had thoughts and had opinions and things like that. So a very easy team to be captain of. Yeah, I guess like shout out to some of the teammates that aren't here. Like wanted to show also like why the Hunter had an undefeated season, I think, and only lost I believe 2 games. Like swept like every other thing, like went 3-0 and then went 3-1 twice, I think. So like I don't know what the records are, but like that was just crazy. He just had completely out of his mind season, and then just wanted to shout that out as well too. But everyone just played so well on the team, so it's just great to be a part of.
Mm-hmm. Any final comments? Anyone wants to say anything to add? Well, if not, I want to.
Like looking,
Oh, go ahead.
yeah. Well, I was just gonna say, like looking ahead, yeah, like we were. I think that when we started the season, we were 1 or 2 or 3 points under the cap, under the 1850 cap.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of knew, like, of course, this team is not going to be able to. It's a one and done thing, right? But Lemur and Why the Hunter are coming back, and I think that's it. And then the rest of the team will be new, but hopefully we'll still be competitive, and yeah, we'll hopefully be able to defend the championship next season.
For sure. I think there's a good chance where next season is going to be a fun season of THL. Hero's going to be smaller, it seems, but there's a lot to happen. And you really never know. Competition is fierce around
I'm actually
here.
kind of excited to see what that looks like, you know, to having a smaller kind of hero space and seeing just seeing how that plays out. I think it'd be interesting because this season we had 12 teams in hero, which is one of the larger numbers, I think, for hero at least.
Yeah, it's been a while since Hero was this large.
Yeah, I can vouch. When Hero is smaller, it is far more competitive because the teams play each other multiple times and get a lot of really good reads and information on the other teams. At least in my experience, it's very fun.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Looking forward to it.
Awesome. So I think that is it for us tonight. We're trying a new format of doing shorter interviews. Please let us know if you enjoyed it. It's something that maybe we'll try to fit all interviews in one single show next season. We'll see how it goes. But I want to give a super special congratulations to Defias, Wild9, Why the Hunter, J Rich, TH Lemur, Pyrolama, and Not Bamity. Thank you all so much for being here tonight. Congratulations to our winners team. And we will see you all next season. Also, I will see you all next week. Wild9 and I will when we interview some of the other teams that couldn't make it tonight. So you'll get to see Wild, Legacy, and Pro probably next Wednesday. So we'll see you soon. Have a good night, everyone.
Otis.